Hello kids, today we will be doing Java tokens. I had discussed keywords and identifier, but I am repeating from Java tokens. Java tokens are basically, or they are the basic building blocks of Java program. Every single smallest unit of a Java program is called as a token. If you write anything in a Java program, it falls in any one of this section, and they are either it is a keyword, it is an identifier, it is a literal, it is a separator, or it is an operator. Let us see each of them. First, let us see what is an keyword. Keywords are special reserved word which convey a special meaning to the language compiler. So when a Java compiler read any of this word, it means that he knows what it has to do. So this words mean something to the compiler, and hence apart from its intended use, they cannot be used for anything else. They cannot be used as an identifier. Then what is an identifier? The name that I gave to a variable, to a function, to a class, the names that I decide that I want to give are identifiers. Now there are certain rules pertaining to identifier. You cannot just give any name to a class or a variable or a function, whatever you want. There are certain rules. Firstly, you can only use alphabets, digits, underscore, or dollar sign. You cannot use anything except it. Moreover, an identifier can never begin with a digit. You cannot write an identifier ABC123. You can write ABC123, but you cannot write 123 ABC. It cannot be starting with a number. Identifiers are case sensitive. All of them are said to be different. An identifier should not be the keyword, cannot be true, false, or null literals. Okay. True, false, and null are considered as a special words. Okay. They are not exactly keywords, but they are reserved words. So you can see this is the list of valid variable or the identifier you can give, and this which are the keywords cannot be used. Now understand Java is case sensitive. It means for, if, and while small will be considered as a keyword, but if you write them in capital it is fine. Then it can be used as an identifier. An identifier length can be anything. You can make it as big as possible. Now I'll just teach you with the example. Okay, this is the window that will appear when you open your BlueJ. I can send you a video how to download BlueJ. If anybody has any issue, you can write a message. I'll send you a video. New class will create a new class. Suppose I am creating a practical. I call it as practical 1. Okay, and I save it. I create a class practical 1. When you will open, there are a lot of contents written in it. I do not want to use the contents which are given by it, so I just remove all the contents and I am writing from scratch. We had discussed last time that Java program is always a class. So you always have to write public class in the starting, and only after that you can write all the contents of the program within the brackets of class. Now this is a class that I have created, to which I have to give the name that I want. So I am giving it a name practical1. This is the name of my class. Okay, and these are the brackets in which I am going to write all the contents. Now if you remember, last time we discussed what is a class and what is an object. Class is a blueprint or a template which just tells me how practical one object, if created pract1, what are the things that it will be having. Clear? Just now I am creating only a template or a blueprint, that is I am creating a class. Every class can have only two things: member variables and member functions. Let us see what are member variables and member functions. What is a member variable? Member variable is, suppose that I want to add two numbers. So I make an integer number 1. Okay. And I say integer number 2. Here number 1 and number 2 are said to be variables, and both of them are of type integer. What do you mean by type integer? It means number 1 and number 2 can store only something which is a number. Okay, number 1 and number 2 are variables. So this brings us to the question, what is a variable? Variable is a named location in the memory wherein some value is stored. So my computer's memory will have something called number 1. So certain bits in the memory will be reserved. For integer it will be 32 bits will be reserved and it will be given name number 1. So this 32 bits will store a number, and whenever I want to read that number or do anything with that number, then I have to use the variable name number 1. Integer means what? It is the data type. We will be discussing all the data type. For time being, understand that data type means the real life data are of different type. Somebody has name, age, address, everything is different. So when it comes to age is a number. So number can be stored when the data type is integer. Name is alphanumeric. So when it is a name, then I will use string. So in a string, I can store something which is ABCD. In integer, I can store something which is number. Okay. So here I have made two member variables, number 1 and number 2. And I can make a method. I have made a method void display. Method is itself a block statement. Whatever written inside the method is executed, okay, when the method is called. So currently you can see that I have created a class. In that class I have two member variables, number 1 and number 2, and I have a method display. In display I am just using system.out.println hello. That's it. So basically I have created a class or a blueprint or a template with two variables of type integer called number 1 and number 2, and a method called display. Clear? This number 1 and number 2 are identifier, display is identifier, and PRAC1 is an identifier. So typically which token is class? Class is a keyword, it is a reserved word. PRAC1 is an identifier, number 1 is an identifier, number 2 is an identifier, and display is an identifier, because these are the names that I have given. Now let us check the rules. The rules state that an identifier cannot be a keyword. So I try to use a keyword, say if is a keyword. If I try to use it, what will happen? It is giving me an error indicating that identifier expected if is not allowed. Identifier cannot use anything except underscore, alphabets, 0 to 9 integers, and dollar sign. Let me try using a, or say number @1. It will give me an error saying that the identifier is not valid. Yes, but I can write underscore number 1. It will compile because it can understand that underscore is allowed. Dollar is also allowed. It will allow me to use dollar also. The thing is, I can use underscore as first value also. It will allow me to use, okay. But I can never use one number, because a number cannot be the first value in an identifier. It is giving me an error that identifier expected. So this rules I have showed you. The size of this number can be anything. Whatever size I want to give, I can give. A variable name or an identifier can be as long as you want. Okay. So these were the rules of identifier. Let us see the next topic. Let us see what are literals. Literals are of different type: integer, float, character, string, boolean, and null. We'll be discussing each of these literals and we will see how they are used in a program. And what are literals? They are constant data item which cannot be changed, and they are of different kinds: integer, float, string, boolean and null. Let us see each of them in an example also. Here in our code, I have two variables, number 1 and number 2. I want to give them some value. Just now I have not given any value. I can say number 1 is equal to 12 and number 2 is equal to 14. You can see here it is giving me error because I have written number 1 in caps and capital is not capital is different than small because Java is a case sensitive language. So I have to write number 1 and number 2. Here 12 and 14 are said to be numeric literals. Numeric literals means they are of type integer. It means they are numbers. Okay. Now, what are integer literal? A number with a positive or a negative sign without a decimal point is called an integer. So, when I write int number 1, I can use any of these numbers which are either positive or negative. Now, it is not that uh, only decimal integers are understood by computer. Computer along with decimal integer system understands something known as octal and something known as hexadecimal number system also. And apart from that, binary number system 101010, which is combination of 1010, it understands that also. So computer basically understands how many kind of integer literals: decimal, octal, hexadecimal and binary. Now let us see what each of them are. Decimal allows you to use number from 0 to 9, and these are all the examples, positive or negative. Octal allows you to use numbers starting from 0 up till 7 only. That is 8 numbers only. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And these numbers look like this. Okay. Hexadecimal numbers. So a hexadecimal number is written with 0x. A octal number is written with only 0 before it. Normal number is written in any manner without anything before it. And a binary number is written with 0b. Let us see in the example. What will I try to do is integer. When I write 10, then the data or the type of integer in number 1 is said to be a normal decimal. I can write -10, then it is a normal decimal again, okay, but with a negative sign. If I want this to be octal, I can write O and 0 and 1 are valid. I can write till 7. 0 to 7 are allowed when it is an octal number, because octal number system starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I'll compile, this number 1 is basically an octal number. Suppose if I want this to be an hexadecimal number, I have to write OX, and when I compile, we'll come to know this is a hexadecimal number. And if it is a binary number, I have to write B, but binary allows only 0, 1, 0, 1. So I can write 0, 1, 0, 1. This is a binary integer. Here number 1 is a binary. I have written 0, B before it. Okay. So these are the different number systems, or these are the different integer numerics or integer literals. Let us see float literals now. Floating point literals. Floating point literal means if I am going to write anything with a decimal value, then it becomes a float. If I want to write this as some decimal value, that is 4.2, then it is said to be a float. But whenever you are writing a float value in Java, you have to write F small or F capital, indicating that it is a float value. Moreover, float is different from integer. So if number 1 is of type integer, I cannot write a float value. So I have to convert this into float. So data type float can only save something which is float. So 4.2 is a float decimal point value. You can see this is working fine. If I forget to write F, it will be considered as a double and will be a problem. It will give an error telling me incompatible type. Because if I do not mention, then it is a double and I have to write double and compile. It will work fine. Float is f, so I can remove this becomes double now, and hence without any error you can see that 4.2 is now double. No f small or capital is written behind it, so I can store it in a, I have to store it in a double. Okay, next, float is not always that it is point value or a fraction value or a divide value. I can write divided by 2, this is also fine. There is also an exponential value. If I want to write e, it is a big scientific number with an exponential value. It is also considered as a double floating point value. Clear? Now let us see what are character literals, string literals, and boolean and null literals. Now what is a character? Character. Character is a 1-bit value, it is one single character value, and it will be using 2 bytes, that is 16 bits. Let us see how to use a character. If I want to use one character, say character gender. Okay, gender is one character I want, a boy or girl. I can write down only one character in it. So gender identifier or the variable can hold only one character in it, either boy or girl. Okay, and gender's data type or gender's type is character. If I try to compile this will work fine, but if I try to use more than one value in this, it is going to create a error. Moreover, a character is written in a single quote. Okay. Now suppose if I want to add somebody's name, then the string literal can be used. So string name. As the name is an alphanumeric value, you can have any length for the name variable or any value, a value of any length can be used. Suppose I want to add the name Tulip. A character or a string literal is always written in double quotes, a character in single quotes. A float will be having f small or big behind it, and integers can be written as it is. Clear? Okay. Next, I'll show you a Boolean value. What is a Boolean? Boolean is either true or false. It uses only one bit. For true, it is 1. For false, it is 0 value stored in it. Okay. So, I am saying Boolean pass or fail. Okay. So, I want to indicate whether the person is pass or fail. I can store only true and false in it. So, I can say pass equals to TRUE, true, which indicates the Boolean value, where T for true is small. So when I compile this without any error, my entire code now is using different kind of literals. What are the different kind of literals that I have used in this? I have used, this is currently a double literal, that is a floating point precision literal. This is integer literal, this is character literal, this is string literal, and this is Boolean literal. Last one we will see, which is the, say, non-literal. Non-literal means absence of a value. When there is no value given to it, we can call it as a non-value or null value. So here you can see that name is a string data type. Only reference data types, I'll explain you what are reference. Only reference data type can be given null value. Null value means I have not specified any name. It means absence of a value means a null literal. Okay, so we have discussed today all the kind of literals that are string literal, Boolean literal, character literal, null literal, integer literal, and floating point literals. We'll continue in the next class other things. Thank you.